Welcome to Davy's Take. Today we are talking about Ferrari, the latest film from director Michael Mann. With Enzo Ferrari's auto empire in crisis, the ex-racer turned entrepreneur pushes himself and his drivers to the edge as they launch into a treacherous 1,000-mile race across Italy. I was really looking forward to this film because I really do love Michael Mann's films and he hasn't made one in a while. I also love Adam Driver as an actor. I also love films that are based off true events that are done well. So it felt like this was a perfect combination. And for me, I thought Ferrari was pretty good, but I was a little disappointed. And I'm not saying this film is bad by any means. This film is made too well to say it's a bad film. I guess I was just a little let down because I had higher expectations, but I think overall this is still a pretty good film. First thing I want to talk about are some of these racing sequences because they are extremely well done. They are extremely Michael Mann. The way the camera just follows these cars with the countryside and the scenery, and it just looks really great. Whenever we do see these cars racing, it is exciting. I first want to talk about the crash sequences in this film because a fan recently asked Adam Driver, why are the crash sequences in this film so cheesy? And Adam Driver replied, fuck you. And I have to say, the fan kinda has a point. I know it's weird that I'm bringing up crash sequences because it's not the point of the film, but it's something I do want to talk about because there are two crash sequences in the film. The first one, I think the fan's right. It looks off compared to the rest of the film. I don't know how to describe it, but it just didn't look right. As for the second crash, I completely disagree with the fan because the second crash in this film was absolutely shocking. It was brutal. And it was one of the more disturbing things I've seen in a while. And I'm not saying that in a bad way because I feel like that had to be as brutal as it was to really drive home the feeling that we should be feeling by the end of this film. But I feel like I just had to bring that up because there's one that just didn't really look right. And then there's another one that was extremely effective. And speaking of Adam Driver, he is great here. I know he felt like he had a lot of pressure to live up to this role, and I think he really nailed it. I thought he gave a great performance. You really feel some sort of powerful force whenever he's in a room. You feel like he's really controlling everything, and I thought he did a great job. But I think my favorite performance in the film is Penelope Cruz, because I feel like there's a lot that this character is going through, but at the same time, it feels like she can never leave her guard down. And I thought she did a fantastic job. There's a lot going on there and she nailed it. And I feel like this story had a lot of interesting elements when it comes to Enzo Ferrari, where he's coming from, why he does the things he does, the secrets that he has. And I think overall it tells this narrative about Enzo Ferrari that I thought was really fascinating. And for me, that was the most interesting part about the film. And unfortunately, what didn't really work for me in this film are the racing elements. I think they're filmed extremely well. I think Michael Mann does a great job, but I feel like you don't really feel the stakes here. I get that if they lose this race, that Ferrari's in big trouble, but I felt like the build up to that race and the race itself really wasn't that interesting or exciting. The more interesting parts about the film are about Enzo Ferrari and the secrets that he has, and I thought that was really well done. And yes, I get it, that's the point of the film, but I feel like if you really elevate some of the other elements when it comes to the racing, so it feels like there are some parts of the film that feel lost and somewhat forgotten. So when you look back at the overall experience, it does feel a little disjointed. This film is over 2 hours long, and I normally don't say this. I feel like it should have been a little bit longer. I feel like there should have been a little bit more in the beginning. We get some of the backstory throughout the film, but I think there should have been a little bit more towards the beginning of the film. And I do like where the film wraps up, but I feel like there is so much more to the story that just wasn't told, that I feel like we should have got a little bit more. I do have to applaud Michael Mann because I think most filmmakers would have taken where the film ended and made that the halfway point of the story, because there are parts of the story I think absolutely wrapped up by the end of this film, and I think where they ended was a pretty good choice. But there's definitely more to the story that should have been told because by the end of this film, I found myself just doing a bunch of research. I felt like there should have been a little bit more. But overall, I did enjoy the film. I thought the story was very interesting. I thought there were some great performances. I thought Michael Mann's direction was fantastic. The film just sometimes feels a little disjointed. There are parts of the story that feel somewhat forgotten. And how the film ends left me a lot of questions, sometimes in a good way, but also in a bad way. I'm going to give Ferrari 7 Davey Daves. I do need to mention this before I forget to applaud Michael Mann's direction even more. I thought the costume designs were fantastic and also the set designs. I thought they were really well done. It really felt like we were put in a time machine and just transferred back to 1957. Everything looks fantastic. So, Ferrari, let me know what you guys thought of it once you've seen it. I'm curious to hear. And thank you so much for watching. Click here to see more of Davey's Takes.